It's time for Around the Ozarks Wake Up Weather, sponsored by Rescue Towing, Command Family Medicine, and John's Heating and Air. Here's your host, meteorologist Abby Dyer.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. I hope you enjoyed a nice fall weekend across the Ozarks, but things have changed. And you know that. You probably heard the rain, the thunderstorms, some of which were strong late last night into the overnight hours. And there's still rain on the radar this morning as we're waking up. This is actually a bit of a lull that we're entering. As of 5 a.m., temperatures are warm and we're still seeing 60s across the board in Missouri. So very warm temperatures today, with highs still expected to make it into the 70s despite multiple rounds of showers and thunderstorms. We are under a flood watch for most of the Missouri Ozarks, and that includes northern Arkansas, basically along and south of I-44. Heavy rain. Torrential downpours late last night. So if you live in a place that's prone to flooding, watch some of those roads this morning on the morning drive. I think it will be important to keep an eye on through the day too, because more rain and more heavy rain is on the way, and potentially more severe weather is on the way today too. So starting off very active for the new work week in the Ozarks. We had some severe weather late yesterday, mainly damaging winds, but also the torrential rain, and there were several tornado warnings out in Oklahoma. Of course, we had some severe weather here in the Ozarks late last night too. A bit of a lull in that severe activity, but don't let your guard down, because I'm expecting more strong to severe storms to develop as we head into the afternoon hours, probably after 3 p.m., lasting through this evening and not ending until Tuesday morning. So there is often this little second hump of severe weather that happens in the Ozarks in the fall season. We are getting a taste of that as we begin the new week. It's really for all of the Ozarks today as well that have the potential to see the heavy rain and severe thunderstorms. The flood watch is going to be in effect through Tuesday morning, as I mentioned, but this is all happening out ahead of a pretty strong cold front that currently is draped back off to our northwest. Won't be pushing through until early tomorrow. So we're not going to feel the effects of that cold front today. All this rain and storm activity, it's happening in the unstable air that's ahead of that cold front. Flood watch in effect today. I mentioned that already overnight, several inches of rainfall reported. And by the time this event is over, I think a widespread place in the Ozarks is going to see anywhere from 2 to 5 inches of rain, with localized amounts potentially seeing more than 6 inches of rain. That's why there's a flood watch out, and potentially there could be some flash flood warnings. So make sure you have a way to receive your watches and warnings today. High water can get out of hand so quickly, and you don't want to be stuck out in that. Of course, if you do see water over a roadway, you got to turn around and find another way. Do not attempt to go through it. I think this could be particularly dangerous in the Ozarks today because we've been experiencing drought conditions. We just are not used to the heavy downpours. And with such dry ground, I think there could be some ponding on the roads that we haven't seen in quite some time. Showers and thunderstorms with a chance of severe weather then kick back up again this afternoon and evening. We've got some lingering rain on the radar this morning, primarily in our far southeastern counties out towards Shannon County, places like Howell County. That's lasting all the way down into northern Arkansas. These are kind of hit or miss showers, nothing severe this morning. However, as we head closer to the lunch hour, closer to school release time, I think that's when we need to start looking out for that next wave of severe thunderstorms. Again, the risk will be for damaging winds, but a few embedded tornadoes are not out of the question, so everyone needs to have a way to get watches and warnings again today. I am expecting that the severe weather chances last through tonight and do not end until early Tuesday when that front actually passes through. We will not feel the cool air until Tuesday behind that cold front. Today, I've still got us in the 70s for highs. Despite the clouds and the rain, it's going to warm up in the Ozarks, and I've got 73 degrees for that high temperature here in Springfield today. We will see temperatures back up into the 60s tomorrow, and then the cooler weather looks to stick around. By Wednesday, we've got some nice weather conditions. That's when you can expect the sunshine to return. Actually, I think it'll be back on late day Tuesday. And then temperatures will drop off again with lows back into the 40s and highs back to the 60s, which is more typical of this time of the year. Around the country, what's making headlines? Well, it's our chance for severe weather. And of course, the severe weather that happened over the weekend for parts of the Southwest and the plains out in Oklahoma, damaging severe weather on Saturday night, another round Sunday night. Now it's Monday. The Ozarks are in the target for severe weather, and that is happening in the national news headlines as well. There's also heavy snowfall falling back out to our west, the Intermountain West, seeing some high elevation, heavy snowfall, which is not too uncommon for this time of the year, but noteworthy. And you may hear folks talking about that on the national news. All right, it's time for the Around the Ozarks Wake Up Weather Brain Twister Trivia question for the day. And the question that I left you with late last week: how many countries still have a royal family? A, 1, B, 17, C, 43, or D, 109? How many countries do you think still have a royal family? To me, it seems like we only hear about one, of course, but actually 43 countries still have a royal family. Most of these monarchies date back to the British Empire. British king still head of the state, of course, but Europe has the most countries with a monarchy still in place, with 12 countries there. Asia has 13 in place, North and South America, 9 combined, and Africa has 3 countries where a monarchy still is in place. However, most modern monarchs are constitutional monarchs, meaning that they have a ceremonial and legal role, but they have limited or no political power. Speaking of election forecast for us in the Ozarks, if you're heading out to the polls tomorrow, it's a good thing it's not today. It's going to be a nicer day tomorrow on the backside of that cold front. All right, here's the question that I'll leave you with for tomorrow. How many heart chambers does a cockroach have? Do you think it is 1, B, 4, C, 8, or D, 12? You can go submit your guess. That's at aroundtheozarks.com. By the way, the website has an awesome weather section. So head on over to aroundtheozarks.com, click on the weather tab, and you are going to get some great hour by hour information. You can get information about the different alerts that we are under today, watches and warnings. And as I mentioned earlier, it's really important to make sure you're checking the weather today, especially after 3 p.m. I think we have another potential for severe storms in the Ozarks, with potentially damaging winds up to 70 miles an hour. A few tornadoes look possible, and of course, the heavy rain threat that could lead to flooding. I'll be back to chat with you early again tomorrow. Thank you to our sponsors, Rescue Towing, Command Family Medicine, and John's Heating and Air.